The guy is 40 years old. 40 years old. To think that you're going to date women who don't already have children, who have never been married, is absolutely absurd.
Before I hit play, guys, remember to like this video and subscribe if you haven't yet to catch my videos every Friday.
Hi everyone, I'm about to go on a date. Wish me luck. More like wish him luck, right? I'll keep you posted. So the date started at 7:15. It is about 7:53 right now. So a little bit over a half hour. And then I had to walk out on the date. This is what happened. We got to talking about our personal lives, what do you do for work, relationships and things like that. And I talk about, oh yes, I was previously married and I have a child who's 8 years old, who I co-parent with my ex-husband and his wife. And then all of a sudden he started freaking out. He started freaking out at the bar. We were at the Vault up in Pompano. He started freaking out and he's like, oh, you have a kid? And he says, oh, I can't date somebody who has a kid. Like, to my face. He's like, I can't date somebody who has a kid. I'm like, excuse me?
That sounds like he is openly communicating not only this as a preference, but as a boundary. Like, he is clearly saying he doesn't date single moms. And as far as it being to your face, like, how else was he supposed to tell you? Like, not to your face? You're literally on a date.
He's like, I can't date somebody who has a kid. I'm like, excuse me? And he starts making me feel like very uncomfortable. I'm like, nobody should ever make me feel like that, especially on a date. Are you kidding me? We're at a nice bar.
How did you feel uncomfortable? Why did you feel uncomfortable? Because this man was openly communicating his boundary? That shouldn't make you feel uncomfortable unless you're just upset that he has that boundary and you're trying to shame him for having that boundary.
Anyway, so I had to walk out on this date because this guy said, I can't date somebody who has a kid. And I think you were very misleading in your profile. And I'm like, why? Because I didn't put a picture of my son in my profile? Seriously?
Sounds like that's what happened. You misled him because you didn't tell him before the date. Doesn't mean that you needed to put it in your profile. I get that. But you didn't tell him. Like, you could have texted him beforehand.
Like, there's a lot of pedophiles on those apps. I don't disclose that unless we're talking on the phone or if we meet in person.
As a woman, if you feel safe enough to go out on a date and meet this person one-on-one in real life, then you should feel safe enough to disclose that you have a child, okay? You don't need to give their name, their age, their address, their phone number. You don't need to give any of that. All you have to do is literally just say, oh, by the way, I am a single mom. See, if you want to continue getting to know me, just wanted to let you know that before we spend more time getting to know each other, before we go out on that first date, just wanted to make sure that you'd be comfortable with that. And then, let him ask any questions at that point, and then understand that they're valid questions most likely. I mean, he shouldn't be throwing insults out at you, but if he has some questions, it's reasonable that he might have some concerns.
The guy is 40 years old. 40 years old. To think that you're going to date women who don't already have children, who have never been married, is absolutely absurd. Absurd. I never hid anything. And quite frankly, I called him out at the bar and I'm just like, oh, so you don't like kids? He's like, oh no, I like kids. I can't date somebody who has a kid. I'm like, oh, you can't date somebody who has a kid? Maybe you should put in your profile that you don't like children.
She's mad. She's like mad. So she is trying to shame the man because she's upset that he has that boundary, that he doesn't want to date a single mom. She's actually mad at him for having that boundary. Okay, this is one man. This is the problem, ladies. Like, you can't purposely not tell a man that you don't have a child, and then when you go out on that date and you find out that he does have that boundary, you can't be mad that he doesn't want to see past that and get to know you. Like, it's okay. It's okay for a man to reject you, but I get it. Like, women are not good with rejection, and here's an example. But what's not okay is you then shaming him, saying these things about him that he, oh, you just don't like kids, to his face, and then also making a video about it and posting it, even though you're not showing the man. Like, you're giving details about where the date was, you're showing your drink, you're telling everyone where you were, where you live, and like very quickly people can put two to two together and they can figure out who it is. But that's clearly not a concern because of how mad you are. You're mad.
Okay, that you're not even going to try to give this date, give us a chance, because I have a wonderful, amazing 8-year-old son. Okay, to me, that's not a family man. No, that man's looking to destroy, and I want no part of it. So I left him at the bar with his old fashioned so he can cry about it.
Oh, I don't think it could get any worse than that. She kind of went over the cliff there. She really was making this man into some sort of like devilish man that doesn't like kids. Like, this is just a man that doesn't want to date a single mom. Like, I bet you anything that man has a past of like doing that, and it totally rebounded on him. Like, he totally regretted it. It was probably a terrible experience, and he's living in that. And that's an okay thing, is to then, for him to recover from it and then go into dating and just tell himself, you know what, this is one boundary that I just have to keep or else I can't do it. That's okay. I think that's healthy. It'd be way worse if he had all these negative feelings of in the past what had happened to him and him coming in and just shoving that down because he's trying to give you a chance, and then that becomes an issue. Like, that man was upfront. He told you what he couldn't do, which was to get to know you more. He told you it early on. Like, I think that is a stand up guy. That is a guy that knows his limits. He has his boundaries, and he is of a healthy mindset, honestly, for him to be able to do that. And I think that should be respected. Okay. It's just like how women want men to respect their choices and to be okay with rejection. It goes both ways, guys. It can't be a double standard here. This is a hot topic issue, okay? Especially when you're talking about dating in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond, because most likely at that point, people, both men and women, have had long-term relationships and probably marriages even, and most likely some kids, maybe one or two, three or four. But the point is that this is a reality when you're on dating apps at that age, when you're looking to connect with somebody new. They might be a single mom and they might be a single dad. The reality is that relationships are a lot easier with a clean slate, when there's not any history that's kind of tagging along into the next relationship. Now, that doesn't mean that those people are not worth it and that those relationships can't develop. Like, they absolutely can. But I think that there needs to be understanding on both sides in order for that to be a reality. There are a lot of issues that men do have with dating a single mom, and that is the reality. Here's the interesting part, is that women don't like that. Single moms do not like to hear that they are not preferred. I mean, women in general don't want to hear that whatever aspect about them is not preferred. They have a hard time with it. They get a little defensive. But in my opinion, I just think that it's okay to humble yourself down even when you're dating. It doesn't mean that you're going to take less than what you really need, and you're not going to like take a man that isn't meeting your needs. I'm not saying that. I'm not advocating for that. Like, you should have standards, but you should definitely, as a single mom, date somebody that doesn't mind that you're a single mom, and you should probably go into it pretty open-minded that like the man that you're talking to is probably going to have some questions. He might have some judgments, and that's completely normal. You should be able to communicate, and you should be able to reassure him that like, this isn't a problem. What that man, that stand-up man, deserved was her respect. He deserved her saying, you know what? You're right. I didn't tell you ahead of time. I'm sorry. I had no idea. And here you are. You planned this nice date. And I didn't tell you that information ahead of time. Like, I didn't think that it was something that would really be an issue, but now you've made me realize that, and I am sorry that I didn't mention it ahead of time, because obviously this is a key, most important factor for you. And I'm sorry I wasted your time and your energy and your money on this date. Thank you for this beautiful drink that you bought me. But, we can absolutely just part ways and leave it at that. It was nice to meet you. Oh my gosh, a woman takes accountability. Like, that would be so nice. I bet you that man would almost like want to question what he had said 5 minutes ago if you if you as a woman came up with telling him that, because that's pretty rare for a woman to just take accountability. And it's not that hard. Like, it's not the end of the world. It's not the world rejecting you. When it's one man that's speaking about his preferences and you don't line up with that, like, you don't match what he wants, that's okay. That is one man that you're not going to work out with, okay? Again, it's not the world. Guys, I am so interested to know what you have to say on this video. Let me know in the comments. Guys, have a great week, and I will see you next Friday.